how to break through a fat loss plateau. If you have ever felt like you are eating right, working out consistently, but you're not seeing your body change, and you've been stuck for 2 to 3 weeks or more, that's considered a fat loss plateau. And the good news is there is usually a physiological reason behind why this is happening. What's up, you guys? My name is Molly van Marth. I'm an executive health and fitness coach. And on this channel, I share strategies, tools, and techniques that can help you drop stubborn body fat and tone up while improving your energy and health, especially if you're an executive. So everything I share on this channel is going to work even if you have very long work weeks, routine travel, and overall just a very busy schedule. So today we're talking about fat loss plateaus in particular. And if that's you, if you're currently stuck with losing body fat, the most common reason this happens to people is because you are simply telling your body to go in too many directions at one time, aiming for too many targets at one time, and therefore hitting none of them. And what I mean by that is there's really only 3 modes that your body can be in when it comes to making steady progress towards reaching fitness goals or towards reaching your fat loss goals. And I'm gonna go over those 3 modes, and I'm gonna tell you what to aim for when you're in each one, okay? Now, when it comes to building a really great physique, you're often going to be in different modes at different times. So for example, you might need to focus on losing body fat first, and then in order to complete your look, you might wanna go through a muscle building phase. But even if you need to be in different modes at some point, it's important to finish one piece of the puzzle first before moving on to the next phase. So here are the 3 modes and when you should be in each one. The first mode is fat loss mode. And this is the appropriate target to aim for if you are above a healthy weight range, because it's important to reduce your body fat in order to reduce health risks, and then also just to gain better mobility. So a lot of times when you get some of the fat off your body and you lower your weight, it's a lot easier to move, and so you kind of experience this positive feedback loop of moving easier, feeling better, and losing weight faster. Now, what you should be focused on in this phase is losing body fat while retaining lean muscle mass. And resistance training should be part of your routine, but the primary way that you're going to lose body fat is through diet. You cannot outwork a bad diet. That is something that is said a lot, and I actually agree with this saying. It is true. Now, what I don't suggest is aggressive calorie cutting by itself. When people try to lose body fat through aggressive calorie cutting alone, a lot of times you end up losing weight, but you're also losing a lot of muscle. And that's not good. First of all, from a physique perspective, it's not going to help you be more toned when you lose muscle mass along with weight. And also just from a calorie burning standpoint, it lowers your BMR, because if you lose muscle, your body is burning fewer calories at rest, and that's not good just for your metabolism in general, okay? Also, if you aggressively cut calories, it creates a rebound effect with fat gain often. So, if you severely cut your calories, a lot of times what happens after a while is your ghrelin levels or your hunger hormone will rise, and that makes you eat back everything that you just lost, okay? And this is just a survival mechanism that's built into our bodies. It's expected. So again, I don't suggest aggressively cutting calories alone. So what do I mean by a strategic diet? Well, one of the things I do with my clients is something I call pro-hormone nutrition. And all this means is that we're getting your body and your hormones to work for you. So instead of aggressively cutting calories, we actually target hunger to keep it low in order to automatically reduce the portion sizes of what you're eating. Because if your hunger's lower, you're automatically gonna eat less, and you're not having to muscle your way through cravings and fight off hunger and trying to avoid food as your main method of fat loss. How we do that is by raising things like protein and fiber that are already in your diet. So typically I'll do a nutrition audit, see where people are already eating protein and high fiber foods, and tell them to eat more of those foods. And again, this is a great way to lower your hunger and to automatically eat less. Way less of a struggle than just trying to aggressively cut calories, okay? And as a secondary benefit of eating more protein, protein encourages lean muscle mass retention, so that's gonna improve your shape and also just keep your strength higher while you're losing body fat. Mode number 2 is muscle building mode. So if you have a lot of body fat to lose, you need to focus on that first. And then once you've lowered your body fat percentage and you're at a healthy weight, you can focus on building muscle if you're noticing, okay, I still wanna a lot of guys wanna build up their upper body muscle. Girls might wanna shape their legs or their glutes more. And once you've lost your body fat, you can focus on that. That would be an appropriate time to do that, okay? And what's neat, a lot of times people will ask, can you spot lose body fat? And the answer is no. If you have trouble spots on your body, the truth is you just need to lose enough body fat and eventually they will go away. What's cool about muscle is you can absolutely spot place muscle. So This is where things get fun. So I think bodybuilding is really neat, is because you can absolutely customize your look and kind of decide where you put muscle on your body. Okay. Again, muscle building mode would be appropriate if you have completed your fat loss phase and you're ready to customize your shape, or if you just want to gain strength overall. Also, if you are starting off and you are underweight when you are beginning your body transformation, you can absolutely go into a muscle building phase first if you don't really have any body fat to lose. Okay, so both of those places would be appropriate places to focus on building muscle. Now, like I mentioned, with fat loss, diet is going to be the main catalyst for you to lose body fat. With muscle building, diet is absolutely important for you to have the raw materials your body needs in order to put on muscle, but also muscle building cannot happen without the proper training. So in a different way, training is really going to need to be a central focus when you are in a muscle building phase. And not just any kind of training. Cardio will absolutely not build muscle for you. I suggest resistance style training routines. That's going to be the most effective way of putting muscle on your body. So an easy way to do this is with dumbbells, barbells, or machines if you have access to a full gym. But again, just dumbbells and barbells by themselves can do a great job. Now, while you're in this phase, your goal should be to keep your body fat to a minimum while you put on muscle. A lot of times people ask, how quickly should I be putting on muscle? You should be gaining strength and also gaining weight at a rate of about 0.5 pounds per week. This is where I would say it's really good to have the guidance of a coach to make sure that your strength gain is in proportion to your weight gain, to make sure you're not gaining body fat while you put on muscle, okay? You have to be just as targeted with muscle gain as you are with fat loss, just to make sure you're not undoing all the work you did with your fat loss phase, okay? A couple key factors in muscle building mode, and that is, number one, you want to make sure that you're properly pairing your muscle groups when you work out. Okay, so every muscle is going to have an opposing muscle. So for example, if you're talking about your quads on one side of your leg, you've got the hamstrings on the other side. And it's really important that you are just overall having a really well-balanced routine in order to have a nice physique, so a nice balanced shape, and also so that you don't get injured. Because if you overtrain one muscle without training its pair, that's a great way to get injured, and obviously we don't want that. As a general rule of thumb, hitting each muscle group 2 times per week is a great way to start. Obviously, there's lots of ways, lots of variety in when you get more into training, but that's a great place to start. And that could be divided up into lots of different ways. So for example, even if you were just weight training 2 days a week, you could do 2 full body days and you'd be hitting each muscle group twice. If you're training 3 days a week, you could do a full body day and then an upper body day and a lower body day. If you're training 4 days a week, you could do 2 lower body days, 2 upper body days. Lots of ways to do it. Kind of up to you how you divide it up. Main thing is that there's some kind of organization, okay? Key factor number 2 is progressive overload. I'm just briefly touching on these, you guys. Obviously, if you want to look into these more, you're welcome to Google these things, but I just want you to know what the main factors are of an effective resistance training routine, because it is absolutely necessary if you're wanting to see your muscles grow and become more defined. A lot of people are missing these basic things in their routines, and if you are, it doesn't matter how consistent you are, you're not going to see your body transform. So I just want to give you guys the shortcuts and the main key factors that you need in a resistance training routine. Okay, so key factor number 2 is progressive overload. Basically, you need to challenge your body more over time, gradually. And in order to do this, once you have your routine set up, you can either increase reps, sets, weight lifted, or you can decrease the rest time in between sets. That's a great way to push your body a little bit more each week as you go through your workouts, okay? If you're doing the same thing each week or just random workouts each week, you're not gonna see your body change because it doesn't have to. Key factor number 3 is periodization, and this is more, again, without getting too super detailed here, this is more referring to the macro structure of your workouts. So you need to be following an organized workout routine. You can have the same repeating weekly workouts, but after about 4 to 6 weeks, you need new ones. Again, you do not need a new routine every single week, and you also shouldn't be doing the same workouts every single week for years, okay? So same weekly routine, switch it up after about 4 to 6 weeks. That's a great way to include periodization, okay? Now, one of the big things I see executives struggle with is consistency. And the main way we overcome this is actually by reverse engineering your workout routine to fit your schedule as is. And what I mean by this is we look at how many days a week is it realistic for you to work out. Do you have 2 days a week that you can lift in the gym, or do you have 4, okay? The main thing is that we set something up that is routine for you and that is doable. How much time do you have to work out? Okay, because an effective workout routine, when it's set up properly, could be anywhere between 30 to 60 minutes. Okay, you do not need 2-hour workouts in order to see your body change. The main thing is that the structure is correct so that they can be quick and efficient, but also effective. Other things to consider are, where are you working out? You know, if the gym is going to create logistical issues, then you might need a workout routine that's designed for your home. And this also means if you're traveling, and that's one of the biggest things I do for my clients, is you might need workouts that are flexible and can work at a hotel gym that only has dumbbells, you know, so that you don't have gaps in your training routine. So these are things, especially if you're an executive, these are things that you need to think about because consistency is key, but the way we create consistency is through customization. So really keep that in mind. All right. So that's the second mode, muscle building mode. Mode number 3 is what I call metabolic recovery mode. Now, our bodies are really smart, they're very adaptive, and they have survival mechanisms built in, like I mentioned. So if you've lost a lot of weight or you've been cutting calories for a long time, which is sometimes part of the process of losing weight, your body will eventually downregulate what it needs to function and will try to resist losing more body weight by doing things like moving less, absorbing more of the calories that you're eating from foods, or increasing your hunger so that you eat more. Okay, it will try to resist losing more weight. And at this point, you need to spend some time, this is different depending on the person, it could be a couple months up to maybe even a year, focusing on gradually adding calories back into your diet. Okay, and your body will eventually start to move more, you will burn more, and you can either maintain or even lose weight at a higher calorie intake than before. As far as how quickly you can add calories back in, again, it's different for everybody. This is one of those things that I observe really closely when I'm taking a client through a reverse diet, but it could be anywhere between 50 calories per week to 200 calories per week. It really depends on what your body does with it. As far as when to stop a reverse diet, again, the goal is to add in as many calories as you can without, without gaining back a bunch of body fat. So when to stop, again, very subjective, depends on the person. Either when you are too full, so I've had this happen with women, I've reverse dieted them up to 2,500 calories per day, and at that point they've said, okay, I literally can't eat any more than this, I don't want to eat more, so that's a fine place to stop the reverse diet. Or you can also take pictures. You should always be taking pictures on a weekly basis. And when you start to see too much body fat, at that point you can stop the reverse diet. Another target you might look at is, it's natural for your weight to come up a little bit when you start adding calories back into your diet, but if it goes above 3 pounds of your lowest weight and your goal is not to gain a bunch of muscle or put weight back on, if it goes above 3 pounds of your lowest weight, that's when you might want to stop the reverse diet, okay? So again, hopefully this was helpful for you. If you are someone who is stuck in a fat loss plateau, make sure you assess, okay, which one of these modes am I in, and am I executing it properly, just to make sure you are making steady progress towards your goals and you're not treading water. If you're an executive and you're wanting to optimize your shape and your health, definitely subscribe to this channel, and I'll be back on here again soon.